Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for March 19th. Okay, taking a look at the futures here right now, we are opening, we gapped up from the close, but we are opening a little flat right now at midnight. We topped out here at this 2840 area and then broke out, held, and then ripped. Now we are opening a little flat. So the market is slowly, ever so slowly grinding up. And today we see that the SPY has broke out of, has tested this 281.50 level that I talked about in the past few days and has now broke out. What I want to see tomorrow, I mean, we have a very nice uptrend line right now. Let's extend this a little bit. What I want to see tomorrow is the market kind of dip a little bit and test this uptrend line before bounce, perhaps come down to the 282 and shake out a little bit of these longs here, and then bounce right back up. Overall, we are looking pretty bullish, but it's still in a very tight range, right? On the weekly chart on the market here, we are breaking out on the week, but we are a little bit extended from 9 EMA on the weekly. So I do expect quite a little choppy day here, maybe a dip at the open because we're opening flat, and then hold the 282 and then rip again. And that's my views on the market. Let's take a look here real quick. Yeah, so watch out for this 282.30 area, which is today's close, as well as the 282 key psychological whole number and this high here, right? Late day, we see some buying coming in on the market at the 282. So I am anticipate a little bit of a gap up, okay? Tonight's watch list is going to be a little bit different. I will be talking about a couple of stocks. Facebook in particular, I will go over in very much detail as this will be my main watch. Before I even start though, I want to talk about Facebook and how I traded it today. Today, Facebook, I took a short on it, and basically I took it at 11:06, 11:06 a.m. This candle, I believe, right here. Yeah, exactly that candle. And I wrote it down. Now, let's take a look at why I took this short here. Basically, Facebook today had a news catalyst. Needham, the analyst from Needham, announced a downgrade on it. And Needham is kind of like a first-tier firm that does a lot of analyst upgrades and downgrades. Okay, and when they come out with a downgrade, basically this is what happened, and it dumped or it dipped out the gates and then popped back up to test and then start failing. And because of the analyst catalyst, I was looking for an all-day fade. So I basically took a short right here and wrote it. I did write it all the way down to the bottom here, but I covered out a lot of it, the 160 area. And then I just set a stop, and eventually it did stop me out at this 160.77 exactly. And then it's very unfortunate because it literally just stopped me out by 10 cents, or else I will be holding a swing position over here. I set a stop right at this area and it popped through and then dropped. It is what it is though. So because of the catalyst, I will put Facebook on my main watch tomorrow. What's going to be different about my watch list tonight is because I'm so honed in on Facebook, I want to go through a few different criterias, right? Overall, let's take a look at the big picture trade here. The big picture is the past 4 days has been down gapping and selling off, okay? The overall market is very aware of the New Zealand shooting and the videos that came out, okay? As far as the intraday fundamentals goes, we have the Needham downgrade on today. Technical analysis on the long-term side, I see key support here, daily support at the 160. on the long term. So when I say technical analysis on the long term side, I'm going to look at the daily chart here at the 160. Okay. And the stock has reclaimed 160 right here. You know what? Let me change the color here real quick. 160. Okay. So overall, on the long-term technical analysis, we are coming into a support area. If this support drops though and snap through, then we have a lot of downside. And the next target I'll be looking at is the 156.40 and 155. So let's mark that off right here. 156.40 right there, and 155, which is a key psychological whole number. Now I'll show you how I come up with these targets here, and this is gonna be the big picture trade if the 160 snap. So this support level or this target comes from this big massive volume on Halloween, October 31st, 2018. If I zoom out just a tad, you know what? Let me blow this chart up. You'll see a massive volume on this day here. Oh, right here. All right. Okay. Zoom back in. Where is it? October 31st. Right here. Okay, so we see massive volume on this day, and this is going to be my next level of support overall on the long-term chart here, on the big picture trade if this snaps. Now, as far as short-term go, when I mention short-term, it's basically what happened intraday. So let's take a look at the intraday chart here. I see key resistance intraday at 160 to 160.75. So which is what I use today as a stop, as well as 161. Right now, this is where the stock is currently holding, right? If I zoom out, you'll see how I find this resistance area. We are sitting at 160.75 though, so very close. Depending on what it does tomorrow pre-market, and then the next key resistance up is yesterday's lows at 162.50. So let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, right here, I found that. We also have 163, which is today's retracement high. Okay, where we had a massive sell-off from here, as well as 162. So 162, key psychological whole number, and I believe today it had some volume too. So it basically flat out right here at the 162 and then snap. So this is where I shorted it at 11:05 once I saw this snap, and I shorted it on this green candle 11:05, 11:06 a.m. and it snapped through this 162 key area, popped and rejected on the VWAP. This is a kill candle. If you look at the volume here compared to the previous volume, this is actually pretty high volume compared to the previous 15 minutes, right? And it finally snapped through. So that's why I shorted it and basically wrote it down. Now that the stock has reclaimed the 160 though, I'm not sure if it's going to sell off again. What I want to see is this 160 snap. So we have some support here at the 160 as well as 159.80s area. So here we have a very concise support zone. Okay, right here. Okay. As the stock based here all day, late day, and then eventually pop back up. I'm not sure if the selling is over yet though. So I want to see this support snap through and hold under for the short and play this long-term picture here for the 156.40, 155 area. Also need to mark off the 159.50, which is another key support area here. As we see, it's today's lows with massive volume here. Look at these two bars, right? And of course, if you want to get very nitty-gritty about it, It's the 159.30 would be the low of today. So we have a lot of intraday levels with here we have the support areas. You can change the colors and then we have the resistance areas, change the colors here as well. I'm looking for pop and drop out the gates. I'll be looking at, I'll probably be watching this 162 area to test again and then fail. It might come all the way back up though to 160 feet. I don't think it can get up over 163 though. So that's Facebook for you. Okay, next up we have Roku. Roku, I have personally marked off some drawings here, so I'm going to load that up real quick here on Roku. Okay. So Roku, overall, we have the big picture is earnings catalyst on a rip, and then we have an analyst downgrade and a Needham upgraded again. Now, amidst the sell-off, the stock is trying to get back up, and today we see that it tagged the 65 key psychological whole number and came right back down. What I want to talk about here is the massive volume that happened on these days, right? On this day during the sell-off here, we had massive volume here around the 65 area, which is a resistance, and we have massive volume here that happened at the 67, which is also intraday key resistance, but it's a little far off. On the next day, we do see massive volume here. The open at the 63.50 level, so that makes it a very key resistance area, and as well as this 62.80s to 63 area. So this 63 area is basically right here. Let me zoom in on the day of the sell-off. We traded a lot of volume here. Let's see, zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so we traded a lot of volume here at 12:30 on the sell-off day, right? And the stock has now reclaimed one level of resistance, and this is where the mass exodus happened, right? The stock is now trading a little bit above the 63 level, so it looks like it wants to regain strength. It tested today as well. This is a key support area. Tomorrow, I am anticipating a dip out the gates and test it once more. Maybe it might not even come down this low. We have a nice double bottom here. So this area is officially cleared. The next key resistance area though is this 63.50 area. So I want to see how it reacts here. And then of course we have the whole psychological number of 64 to clear as well. So lots of resistance it needs to clear. Looking for a dip, a hold, and then rip. Looking for the retest of 63 again, and then try to run it back up to the 65. If it gaps up or if it rips out the gates, I'm going to look for the double top here at the 65 area, because 65 is very significant, even on daily chart level as well. So as I noted here on the main volume here, 65 right here on the sell-off day. Okay, so that's Roku. Those are going to be my two main watches for tomorrow. Apple is on a tear, and it's holding a lot of its gains. And we see after hours we have some buying, so I am anticipating a gap up tomorrow. Because the stock is very overextended, it needs a pullback day, and because I am anticipating gap up, I'm thinking it's going to gap up to around the 190 area key resistance, and very near the 200 SMA. So a gap up and then a sell off at the open to close the gap, and then perhaps hold these highs here at the 188 and then rip again. 190, very key resistance level here. And then we have SQ is going to be on a side watch. Today, SQ basically snapped the 9 EMA, as well as a key psychological whole number of 76. So watching 76 right here, let me point out 76 is a very key area. As you can see, it was a support here, resistance, 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 support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, 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 resistance. Now that it's snapped through with higher than relative volume, I am anticipating a pop and a drop. We also have the 200 SMA here on the 5-minute chart. So we do see some noon buying here as the short sellers cover and the stock gain back a little bit of momentum as it retraces, looking for a pop and drop. On the intraday side, we have a resistance level at the 75.50 area as well, but it's very close. It's just 30 cents away. I'll be looking for a gap up or pop here to the 76 and then fail, and looking for a short sale from there. And my first target would be this here, this mark, 74.75 or the 75 area. And then perhaps we can bring it all the way back down to the lows here at the 73.50. So that's SQ on the side watch. Basically, that's it for my watch list this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed this newer format. And what you watch, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks.